So, today's video gonna be about, or today's episode actually is gonna be about something that we might have been talking about before, so we actually clearly have been talking about before, but this is quite another approach to it. It is actually like a scientific approach to it, and also a scientific explanation for why it is the case. And it is really interesting. We are on the psychologytoday.com website today, and it is, I hope, at least a really great article. But we will go through it and we will discuss it after the intro. And I'm so fucking pumped today. It is insane. I see you. But for the sake of the better audio quality for all the podcast listeners, here I'm having a little anti-echo blanket, because it definitely makes a difference. I hear it myself, which is just insane. By the way, for those people that are actually watching the YouTube video, I'm very sorry that I might be a little too blue. I don't know, might be because of the lights that I'm having. The only warm light is above me, which is like my ceiling light, and the others are like just relatively cold. And as I'm just seeing it myself, it is like a little bit too cold for my taste, at least. And it is like a little bit like unnatural, like just some neon color thing. And I don't like that. But the thing is, I do not have actually the time for adjusting this before this episode right now. Therefore, it is just going to be the case for this episode. I might be changing it up because, as you might know, I'm having a screen in front of me, and this is basically my main light source, to be honest. And on the screen, there is basically a picture of a white background, or it is actually a white picture. And I think if I just turn it into something more like orangish, then it just really would help to just not make me kind of look like so zombie-like and or something. I don't know. I'm still sweaty, so it just... But yeah. As I've been initially talking about it, I thought so. I'm very sorry, I gotta just have to change it up. Yeah, that's me. Or that was me and my photo booth. Get it a little bit like this, a little bit like that. So, this article is called Heal, Grow and Empower. And it is, as I said, basically just a scientific approach to self-help and to, I would say categories of self-help, because self-help includes definitely quite a lot of things. And I do, by the way, think, as I'm just kind of talking about it, I do somehow think that it is like a really kind of just, interesting term, to be honest, because it's like so broad. Like it really is broad. Like self-help is like, if you just take the words, I do not even know the definition. I haven't looked it up, and I do not even think that it might be that important. But the thing is, it just sounds so like everything that somehow helps you in any category of your life, which could be like, cooking, and which could also be like, emotions and those things. So the basic, or what I kind of feel about when I just, talk about self-help. But as I'm just seeing it, like it just popped into my mind. No, the wrong one. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. If especially if this just shocked you or something, I'm really sorry. I pressed the wrong button. But I'm just going ahead and read. So neurological principles underlie emotional healing, growth, and empowerment. Emotional healing, growth, and empowerment require adherence to certain neurological, biological, psychological principles. Ignoring or violating any one of them inhibits healing and growth. This post will describe the major neurological principles that inform scientifically based therapy and useful self-help books. As I said, or as I've just read it, it is basically like self-help books only in a scientific way. And this article is written by Stosny, PhD, Anger in the Age of Entitlement. Is this like his book or something? It could be the case. I don't know. The first one is mental focus amplifies and magnifies. And just before I actually go through this one, because this actually, the first one is such an incredibly important thing and such an incredibly strong thing, it is insane. It really is fucking insane. I can't even tell how fucking insane or just good. Like, it is not insane in a bad way, but insane in a good way. the thing is, now we're going to talk about perspective and focus. I unfortunately didn't go through this one, but for the next days, I'm going to try to go through the articles at first so that I can talk about it, because I like it a little bit more than just reading through it, because yeah, you can read through it on your own. But yeah, this little thing is going to be, or this chapter or part of this article is going to be about focusing on things and why your focus and on what you focus really, really fucking matters, because yeah, we, as he already said in the title, or the little subtitle actually, mental focus amplifies and magnifies, which basically means like, and I'm still gonna read it, it just really means like, okay, what we focus on is gonna be just so present, it's gonna be so just here, and everything that we are not focusing on is not gonna be here. Which means like, okay, for example, me focusing on the analytics of, how my videos are performing, and they're performing good, and this just really makes me happy, that people actually consume what I'm posting, what I put my just effort and the hard work in. I like that. I really love that. By the way, subscribe to the podcast and or subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't yet, because you might just, miss out on something that would be just really, really important for you. So just please stay here, please subscribe, and please check out the channel once a day, because there's going to be a video once a day for you and for all the other people that need them or want them or just want positivity, whatever the people want. There's going to be a video every single day, and on the weekend there's going to be 2 videos every single day. But yeah, what we focus on is definitely just what we have, and what we're not focusing on is totally what we not have. And the first time when I've actually just gotten in touch with this thought, or gotten in touch with this somehow principle, as he just calls it, is through Tony Robbins actually. And as I'm just recapping that right now, it just really makes me feel that he knows what he's talking about. Because of course, like, I believe that he just knows about what he's just doing there, because like, yeah, he has been doing it for like 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, something like this. So from a really quite early age on, he has been doing that. So he definitely has a lot of knowledge. But maybe this just shows me that there's also something scientific behind that, because like, yeah, he got a brand, and well, yeah. But I'm gonna read. I'm gonna be pumped and read it. Maybe I'm even a little bit too pumped. But I don't know. I'm just really happy to go through that one and then eat something afterwards. It is just amazing. If you're hungry, everything that you're eating is gonna just taste way fucking better. It is amazing. Try it out. Try out fasting. Then everything's gonna taste fucking good. Even shit. No, I haven't tried it. Maybe I have. No, I haven't. So whatever we focus on becomes more important than what we don't focus on. Viable self-help keeps the focus on what you want to achieve, how you want to think, and what you want to do, and how you want to be in life. It shows how to improve your situations, or if you can't improve them, how to improve the way you experience them. Which is basically like, okay, changing the way you think about them, because this definitely can improve it or actually worsen it as well. It shows how to appreciate more, connect to others, and protect and nurture what is most important to you. It shows how to build more meaning and purpose in your life. Bad self-help focuses on, amplifies, and magnifies how bad you feel or how bad you have been treated, or on a psychological diagnosis and profiling of those people who have treated you badly. Definitely, it is just really talking about focus, focusing on the bad things or focusing on the really good things. As I've been talking about it just way too often up to this point, I guess, but it is just really important. If you focus on the good things, which means like being optimistic, but as Gary would say, it is really being optimistic, but not delusional. Like, there has to be some sort of being realistic, even though you are optimistic, you still, do not falling into illusion and not just getting into this illusional kind of area is also not pretty the best thing. But optimism, I just used the German word, optimism is definitely very important. And it's definitely something that I can suggest. It really is a good thing. And one thing there might be is just like, surrounding yourself with people that are actually positive themselves. It could really help. Could really, 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 really help. Just because of course, we somehow get certain parts and certain thoughts and certain kind of patterns of the people that we surround ourselves with. We get some patterns from these people, we just somehow adapt to those people, but also on the other hand just means and shows and says that if you're a particular person, also the people around you are going to just somehow adapt to you. Not only you to them, but also they to you, which would be an amazingly great thing if you just think about it, or as I just think about it. It's like, okay, you're just a fucking great person. You're just so amazingly optimistic that also all the other people around you are going to be optimistic and are going to be happy. Best thing, you're happy and you're so positive and so fucking, I don't know, like joyful and grateful for whatever, for your life, that you also make all the other people around you happy and joyful and grateful for whatever that is in your life. Actually, something that I've been thinking about today is I've just actually came home. The recording is actually the first thing that I did when I just came home. And it is amazing, by the way. I love it. It is just incredible sitting here talking to myself, basically, which sounds a little bit strange, but it is amazing. Think about that. I might be giving somebody, so just a thought of mine to somebody which might help him or her. It is amazing. It truly is amazing. And also just, give them, it doesn't necessarily have to be just only about knowledge. It is just also like, okay, through my positivity and through my optimism and my energy, that I'm just able to push through this medium of, the video, or the medium of the audio signals, which then means the podcast, that I also just make the day for somebody, or just make somebody happy because, it is funny or something. I don't know. Could be the case. Would be amazing. Having knowledge and entertainment both together, something incredibly incredible. Yeah, that's what I want to say. But, yeah, focus matters. And I was thinking about the fact that I'm so fucking grateful that I'm even living. Gary talks about it as well. And I was always like, yeah, okay, I understand that. And it makes sense for me. I'm also happy that I'm just living and that I'm alive. But I really thought about it in another way. Like, it is, I have to travel like 2 hours each day, to get there where I'm working or having my internship actually, and not just getting home again. It is like a pretty well fucked up thing. But the thing is, I'm alive. I'm alive, and I'm even alive in a first world fucking country, in a country where I have a lot of opportunities. I might not have as much opportunities as in the States. At least this is somehow, as I think about the States, as there are just a lot of opportunities. Maybe it's just the same. I don't fucking know. I actually really don't know. But the thing is, I'm alive. I'm alive. I've been hearing it myself, and it was like, yeah, okay, you're alive. It's great. I get it, but it's not like such an amazing thing. But maybe if you do just also think that way, like, okay, I know Chris is alive and it is amazing and he can just do things and whatever. Maybe you think about it in this way as well at the time, but I hope and I think that you will just get how I feel about it at this certain point of time. But yeah, let's actually move ahead. Let's actually move ahead with the article, because I want to give you as much value as there is. The second one is the neural connections forget by repeated focus grow physically larger and stronger and are prone to automatic activation. So the neural connections forget by repeated focus grow physically. I don't know what this means, but I hope that this is going to be explained a little bit further in this short little paragraph there. Well, short little is a little bit like relative, but yeah. So highly reinforced neural connections are experienced as habits. Your brain loves habits because they conserve energy, which definitely makes sense, and I think everybody understands that. The difference between habitual behavior and one intentional And one intentionally decided is hundreds of millions of multi-firing neurons. The brain stores numerous assumptions about its environment based on experience, which it uses to make behavior choices. If there is no apparent environmental exception to the string of assumptions underlying a given behavioral impulse, it's enacted automatically without conscious thought, emotion, or perception. You can walk across your living room and sit down without thinking or feeling anything about it. And I think this truly shows you that it would just be so much energy that your body consumes by thinking constantly about what you're doing. Like talking. If I would just be thinking about moving my fucking mouth, it would just really consume a lot of energy. The energy that I'm not having for that, or my body seems to not have for that. It makes just sense. It really just makes sense. And, just really think about it. It would just be so much energy. You do just have to think about what you're eating a day. Like, it is something. It might be just a little bit less for you. It might be a little bit, more for me or for some other people. But we're still consuming quite a lot of energy each day. And I don't know, we're also somehow consuming that energy, or somehow kind of bursting out that energy through thinking, through actual physical work, through whatever we're doing actually. And then, well, if you would be thinking about about everything, then 10,000 calorie days would be normal, I guess. Where did I stop? So you don't have to look for the chair because your brain assumes where it is. You can't do that in a hotel room, which is why travel is exhausting. In an unfamiliar environment, your brain must formulate new strings of assumptions for routine behaviors. Actually, something that I've been thinking about, why is traveling so exhausting? Or so exhausting. There's no other word, I guess. Because I always thought it is, traveling is nice and whatever, but it really is exhausting. It can really be exhausting. And now I'm having an answer. It is amazing. In familiar environments, most of what we do is on automatic pilot, consuming far fewer energy resources than consciously decided behavior choices. Yeah, makes sense. Really makes sense. Anything you do rapidly, have I actually skipped something? No, I haven't. Anything you do rapidly or repeatedly, you will eventually do on automatic pilot. Popular self-help advice, such as regular sessions of journaling and sorting through feelings, may give momentary relief, but will reinforce the tendency to focus on pain and mistreatment or analysis of those who have hurt and disappointed you, rather than healing, improving, and growth. I see. Attempts at, I don't know, maybe it's just one of the things that I do not want to believe or do not want to just get. Well, I get it. I get what they say, what he talks about. But I do not want to believe in that just because I like self-help or something. But it makes sense, it totally makes sense that what he's talking about. It really does. Somehow, unfortunately, to be honest. So attempts at journaling and sorting through feelings most go beyond mere validation to focus on repair, improvement, and growth. The third one. So I really would like to not let that be true, to be really honest. I don't know. I love self-help. This might basically be the reason why I'm actually going through so many self-help things, books, articles, whatever it is, on a daily basis. Well, not on a daily basis, but on a macro basis. I think throughout the last year, I've been going through so many things. It is amazing, by the way. It really is amazing because it just gives me a framework of learning and sharing and learning and sharing and creating content, and somehow even in the really long future, just maybe creating a job for myself, which would actually be amazing. Just because I do have kind of the contrast of having a normal 9-to-5 job right now and also doing what I'm doing right here, which is actually really amazing because now I can really talk about having a 9-to-5 and also just doing something besides that, also just having your side hustle, as people talk about it. And it is amazing that I can be talking about that now. And also just the fact that, the work you're doing every single day is really not something that makes you happy, that it really can crush you, you know? Because yesterday was actually one of these days where I thought like, and it was the second day of my internship, and I felt like, well, it is really not that much of fun. Like, it really is not that fun or funny to do what I'm doing. So basically, I'm a designer, graphic designer there, doing just normal shit as designers do, I guess. And it was like, yeah, I understand people and I understand why they feel so bad and so mad and so like unhappy. Yeah, unhappy might be the just most striking word there, but I understand that, and I can now talk about it because, yeah, you know, also yesterday's episode, it wasn't the greatest one. It truly wasn't the greatest episode that I've ever recorded. And, well, it is fine, because today's episode, even though I might be a little bit too energetic, to be honest, to be really honest, I'm really pumped, or I was really pumped to actually make, as well as yesterday. Yesterday I started to be pumped for today's episode because I just wanted to make it better than yesterday's one. Because yesterday's one, like, yeah, I don't know. I really didn't felt that well. And it was like, okay, I have to hurry up. I have to do this and that and whatsoever. And it wasn't really that chilled like it is today. Because yesterday I actually came home at the exact same time we have now. Basically, like, you know, before 10 minutes or 10 minutes before now, actually, or something. I don't English, but never mind. So yeah, I understand that. It is amazing. It is amazing. The third one, yeah, I somehow really try to not be that energetic, but actually time flies so incredibly much when I'm doing episodes. At least sometimes it's not the case. Sometimes I really feel like, well, please, time, go away. You know, I just want to finish up, and it is really not a good feeling. It definitely is not a good feeling. But I'm actually sorry if I might be a little bit too energetic today. But it is what it is. The third one, we change the brain through a change in focus and repetition. Much has been written about neuroplasticity, the ability of the brain to change. The better self-help authors have replaced, or at least supplemented, insight about past experience and present patterns of behavior with the practice of desired ways of thinking and behaving. Optimal change occurs with respect to a hierarchy. Repeatedly thinking about the desired change, imagining in detail how you will overcome any barriers to the desired change, and practicing the specific behaviors likely to lead to the desired change. Think often about healing and growth rather than pain, damage, and mistreatment. Think of how you will overcome any barriers to healing and growth. Imagine often what you might do differently if you had achieved the desired change, and then do those behaviors repeatedly over time. Great advice. You know, I'm actually having some issues and some problems with the text. It is like a little bit like a complex one for my speaking ability. Just kidding. Yeah, it just truly is like a complexer one. Like it is not such an Sun article, something. You get it, I think, what I mean. So the next one is actually the last one, but I somehow feel like this is going to be something for next day, because it's long and I do not want to stress myself out to actually push this one into this episode. It really does not feel like great, because it feels like, okay, I have to read it as quickly as I possibly can. And in the end, it is like, well, I've read it, but I haven't been talking about it. And it was like, yeah, I've read it and that's it. And well, this is all the value that I give to you. And this is not what I want to do. I want to talk about it. Like, you can go through it and you can read it on your own. But my thoughts is actually something that only I can give you, because it is like my thoughts. It makes sense. Yeah, thank you. But I believe in that, even though I kind of feel like the third one is basically like the first one as well. But the article is actually going to be linked down in the description. So if you want to check it out on your own, read it on your own because you haven't understood something, then totally check it out. I think it is a great article. Also, the Psychology Today website is a great website with a lot of great articles on psychology. not a lot on self-help, to be honest, and not a lot on self-development or improvement or whatever you want to call it, but a lot on just addiction, parenting, relationship, and all those things. Not so much on self-help, unfortunately. At least I think, as far as I have seen. But for me, it definitely makes sense that repetition and imagination, so it definitely really is just those things that people talk about in those self-help books, relatively often. And so something that is really important and something that I want to point out there is the acting part. Just because I was thinking okay, he somehow says in this article what Napoleon Hill is basically to some really kind of just small percentage, or really kind of just how should I say, really, the thing is, he also talks about something similar in the book, not how to win friends and influence people, but Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. It is basically think and grow rich. And I've been actually editing or uploading yesterday an episode or a clip to Instagram where I was talking about it. And I was acting is important and not only thinking about it, which is still the case for me. And therefore it is incredibly important that he also points it out in this certain article, because he says repeatedly thinking about the desired change, important. Imagining in detail how you will overcome any barriers to the desired change, important. And the last one, practicing the specific behaviors likely to lead to the desired change. Practicing the specific behaviors likely to lead to the desired change. Which means doing fucking shit and not sitting around and thinking. Really important for me. It just really is important for me, because I really do want people to do things, because thinking about it is not enough. And dreaming about it, unfortunately, is also not enough. It would be amazing, but as somebody says, I think it was Derek Sivers, if I remember correctly, he said, if the whole thinking, so it is not the exact same quote, but if the whole thinking thing would actually work, then we would all be millionaires with six-pack abs and something else as well. But I don't remember that. But it would actually be the case. We would all be just amazingly beautiful. We would all be just, so muscular. We would all be rich. We would all have a Ferrari if we want to have that. Because I actually do not want to have a Ferrari, because it would just suck the fucking money out of my pockets. I assume, at least. I really assume. But, also to just maybe, justify that. Those people that are having a Ferrari actually also have the money for just paying for the taxes for it, or just the insurances or the gas or whatever it is. They usually have the money for that. Usually. Or should have the money for that. Might be a better word. But we are already 27 minutes in. What just happened? We are already 27 minutes in, 28 minutes by now. It is insane. I think just maybe on the weekend I'm gonna make a longer one. It's a 60-minute episode or something. But the problem that I'm having with really, really long ones, and therefore I've also tried to not just have too long of an episode, is that people actually do not want to watch it nor listen to it, because it is such a long thing and it's such a long episode. And I get that, and therefore I was okay, maybe I should be just doing a little bit of an just shorter one. Through editing, it might be possible if I just really, really, really tightly edit everything, which is not always good, by the way, because then it is okay, information without any time to breathe. Actually, it's not good. It really is not that good. I'm so blue. It is insane. I'm really blue. For all the podcast listeners, just check shortly if you do have some Wi-Fi or something. Check out the videos just really, really shortly. I am so blue. It is insane. I have to do something against it, I guess. But yeah, I think I'm not gonna stretch the episode too long. Episode was quite good. I might have been a little bit too energetic, a little bit too something, at least I feel, but I shouldn't be too perfectionistic about that. So check out the Psychology Today website And maybe you check out the last point as well, which is how we get stuck. And yeah, I see you the next time, at least hope. And I wish you the best health, happiness, and also success. And I also hope that you're going to remind yourself, I know you gonna be remembered. So basically your legacy. But something that I have to say is that no matter how nice and generous and happy and whatever you are, there's still gonna be someone that is negative and doesn't like you and or even hates you. Probably on this planet, there's going to be one person, under those 7 billion people, or nearly 8 billion actually, that doesn't like you. It is just what it is. And also please think about your purpose. Like, what are you trying to achieve on this planet? Why are you here? And what are you trying to change? What bothers you? What pisses you off immensely? Yeah. Thank you very much for listening and watching. I see you the next time. Check out the description for all the other information for various other social media sites that I'm having. I see you the next time. And really thank you from the bottom of my goddamn fucking heart. I really have to thank you for being here. Thank you. See you the next time.